It is my distinct pleasure to get to introduce our keynote speaker and friend of mine, Chloe Condon. Now, let me tell you a silly question. So we've added basically like a fun fact. We've given our speakers some options, and Chloe's favorite cartoon is the Rocco's Modern Life Wacky Deli Parts 1 and 2. It's very specific, and that's why we're friends, because she's not wrong. So today, Chloe is going to give us the spice we need in the morning. So everyone, please, warm welcomes in the chat and the Discord for Chloe Condon.
La, 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 la. Okay, I gotta do a little dancing for my Spice Girls inspired talk here. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I am so thrilled to be speaking at this event. When I found out it existed, I could not believe my ears. I have played so much Animal Crossing during the pandemic, during the panini, as I like to say. So thank you so much for joining from wherever you are. Let's see, do I need to share my slides? I think I've shared my slides. And in the meantime, I'll just vibe a little bit here. Oh, here. This is my favorite emote to do in the game, is to just vibe and dance here. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So y'all, hello there. My name is Chloe Condon. I will get into a little bit of who I am, what I do, but without further ado, should I go ahead and get started? Let's do this. Let's DevOps our life. So if you don't understand the reference here, this is of course a reference to the Spice Girls song, Spice of Your Life, or Spice Up Your Life, I should say. People of the world, spice up your life. And this talk is all about how I have applied DevOps to my own everyday life. So let's get started, shall we? All right. Making sure my slides are visible here. There we go. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Chloe. If we're in person, this is a part where you go, hi Chloe. And I'm giving your keynote today. I am, if you're wondering how I got here, I am also confused as well. I never expected myself to be giving a keynote. My path is a very unique one. I'm a cloud advocate at Microsoft currently, where I work on students and I teach them how to use cool things with Azure, like fake boyfriend apps, Azure Animal Crossing turnip timers, one of my faves. I have a bunch of weird Twitter bots online, like my Britney Spears Twitter bot, or very timely, today is April 30th. You can check out Is It Gonna Be May on Twitter, because I have an It's Gonna Be May bot. All kinds of other fun, quirky things. I like to build things in the cloud that are fun and unique and make me laugh, because I think that we learn better when we're laughing and enjoying ourselves. So definitely, if you're interested in quirky, unique content, I am your gal. So you may notice that my content is a little fun and quirky and creative, and that is because I am, and let me get the right emote here, a recovering musical theater actress. That's like the closest emote that I could find to jazz hands. I spent a big part of my life performing in musicals and doing the whole musical theater thing. So I love to bring whimsy and joy and fun to every kind of project that I do, even if it's something kind of mundane and boring, like working in the cloud. So a little bit of my history with DevOps here. I first heard of DevOps in a unique way. So DevOps, what does it even mean? When I was in my very first role as a junior developer evangelist at CodeFresh in 2017, my manager, Dan Garfield, sent me this book a couple weeks before my start date. And I had not worked in tech at all before. I was very new to even Docker. It was a Docker CI/CD company. And if you've never read the Phoenix Project before, I assume since this is DevOps conference, we have a lot of folks who have. This really opened my eyes to what DevOps is. I'm now doing the bewilderment emoji here. DevOps to me always, before I got into tech, kind of seemed like this buzzwordy thing, and I wasn't really sure exactly how to apply it, especially as a junior, someone a little bit more junior in my career. But reading this book was incredible because it told me all about DevOps in a fictional sense. So I really got a sense of how this would work in the real world. And I kept finding myself during the panini or the Panera or whatever you'd like to call it, the pancetta, the panorama, the global pandemic, I kept finding myself saying, at least I have my life together in Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is the first game ever that I religiously started playing on my Switch. I love Animal Crossing so much. I play it every single day because obviously I need to get all of my things from the ATM. I need to make sure that I check the store every day. And I realized, wow, Animal Crossing is the only habit that I've really sternly developed during the pandemic. But I really didn't like this about myself. I hated that I had my life together in Animal Crossing, but I just couldn't get it together in my real life. I couldn't develop habits. I couldn't even do the things that I needed to be doing on a daily basis, like even brushing my teeth sometimes because we were just stuck at home all the time. So a quick piece of information about me that I think is important is I have ADHD, which if you don't have ADHD, it's not just something that's, for fidgety people or, a rowdy child or anything like that. I was diagnosed with ADHD relatively recently, within the last 3 or 4 years. So here is my exciting intro into what it's like to have ADHD. Having ADHD means a couple things. I am terrible at scoping. My short-term memory is terrible. I cannot remember numbers or things that are said to me seconds before they're told, or seconds after they're told to be. I'm great at doing tasks for others, not so much for myself. I have pretty intense RSD. That stands for rejection sensitivity disorder. So I'm very, very cautious of what other people are thinking and thinking the worst case scenario. I say yes to too many things, which I think all of us probably attending this conference can relate to that. I'm a yes and person from my theater and improv days. It's really, really hard for me to stick to a routine or a schedule or habit, as I mentioned. I have unrelenting standards, so I want everything to be perfect. This always came to fruition on my island because I wanted everything to be perfect and finished all the time, which is hard to do when there's flowers popping up everywhere. I have social anxiety. I am an ambivert, which is an introverted extrovert, and I have difficulty asking for help when I need it. So that's a lot of information, but I think it's important to set the stage on how I usually feel. But in Animal Crossing, I noticed a really big difference. I was really good at gauging the time that I needed for tasks. It was rare that I ever forgot tasks. I think part of this is because animals were constantly reminding me, like, hey, did you see that like weird guy who's washed up on the island? Like, maybe you should go check him out. Like, it was a great reminder for my brain. I felt more motivated to do things for myself. I was doing so many things on my island, sometimes ignoring getting medicine for some of my other animals, even when I should have been. I only commit to what I can manage. I have a solid schedule, habit, routine. I know every time that I go into Animal Crossing, first thing I'm going to do, of course, is I am going to check out the awesome stuff in the Able Sisters store, and then I'm going to check the newest things and turnip prices in Nook's Cranny. I think we can all relate to that. And of course, going to check on the ATM. Also, I don't give a shit what these animals think. I did not have RSD in Animal Crossing. I was mainly focused on myself and didn't worry about what other people think, except for when other people visit my island. I really want to clean it up. And my standards are really normal. I still have social anxiety when I welcome people onto my island. I still get a bunch of social anxiety. I feel like I have to be a good host. And I will text someone when I'm confused. Shout out to my dear friend in Animal Crossing, go-to buddy, Brendan North. Anytime I can't figure something out, instead of just trying to figure it out myself and stew in it, I will text him and be like, how the heck do I do this? Please help me. So I was a totally different person. In fact, I was the person that I wanted wanted to be in Animal Crossing. And then I realized something. Is this DevOps? I had to put this meme in here. It's my favorite meme. I had this big epiphany for myself, which was, I am this person in a simulation. I am able to throw parties without much anxiety, and I really enjoy doing things for myself, and I have all these habits and routines. Maybe there's a way that I could do this in my real life, because after all, I am controlling the game. So I started to bring my Animal Crossing New Horizons self to work. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, how did you do that? This is just one of my favorite screenshots from playing Animal Crossing recently. It's me talking to Octavian and about my favorite food, Flamin' Hot Cheetos. So I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, so did you start? No. Were you selling fruit to Clippy? Not exactly. I decided that I was going to try to move some of these things that didn't cause me as much stress in Animal Crossing and try to apply them to my real life. So here are a couple things that I have listed here. This is just a short list. Tasks for work, emails, routines and habit, attending meetings, asking for help, and using an Azure DevOps board were the main things that I was finding trouble finding the dopamine and serotonin in my brain to want to complete. So I started to think of these things in terms of Animal Crossing. So, and I'm just going to dance while I share these two things. So tasks for work, I try to view as tasks for my animals. I am really, really terrible at answering and reading letters in Animal Crossing, and I'm also really terrible at email. So I tried to think of ways that I could motivate myself to do that better. Hit me up if you have good motivators for email, y'all. I'm still working on that one. Collecting shells and digging fossils kind of turned into my routines and habits. So things like expense reports and, having to check different tenants and teams. Listening to KK Slider is a lot like attending a meeting because I enjoy listening to KK Slider. The songs can be kind of long. Meetings can be kind of long as well. So I try to be present and be in the moment and pay attention versus have my mind be distracted somewhere else. Asking for help, I tried to ask for help in the same way that I would in Animal Crossing. So texting my friends or teamsing my friends in this case, talking to animals, getting help on things. And all my animals had a magical awareness of what I was up to. And this is sort of the missing piece of all of it, right? Was how will anybody know if I need help or what I'm doing if I'm not sharing it with them? And this, of course, is automated in Animal Crossing. They kind of have a magical awareness of what I'm doing. We were just talking before this presentation that they're always watching me commenting on things like, I saw you burying money the other day. What was up with that? So I needed to figure out a way to have what I was doing be visible and transparent to other people, not just in my work life, but in my personal life. So I DevOps my life. And this is the part where if we could pay for licensing and music, I would underscore the entire rest of my presentation with Spice Up Your Life by the Spice Girls. But maybe for DevOps, Deserted Island DevOps 2035, we'll have all the music licensing rights. So I DevOps my life. And you're probably thinking, okay, nerd, way to just apply tech things to your real life. But I'm here to say it actually kind of worked, and I'm really, really excited to share it with you all. Okay, relationship DevOps. So this is actually something that I started doing way back in 2016 or 2017. I was new to tech and my boyfriend had worked in tech for a while and he thought it would be a good experience for me to learn what are in our relationship at that time. And we figured, hey, what if we did a retro on what's going well, what we want to be doing, and kind of like refocus and realign our goals. And this has been a habit that we've done for the last couple years. We didn't do it during the panini though, because we get a free pass on that one, right? I feel like we're just not our full authentic self during the pancetta. But this really helped with me. And even just having a Trello board or something that we can keep track of the different tasks and to-dos and, potential future trips that we wanted to take, this became a really, really useful thing for us. Personal DevOps. I mentioned Trello before. I mentioned I have ADHD. I worked with my ADHD coach to figure out a way to put together a tolerations board, which would have all of the things that are stressing me out that I could prioritize, that I could have in one single source of truth instead of me writing post-it notes everywhere and using the Keep app in my phone and just having chaos everywhere and trying to keep all this information inside of my brain. And of course, Azure DevOps, which I use at work. I'm a Microsoft employee, and I recently joined a new team, and we started using a Kanban board in Azure DevOps. And this has been incredible for me because other people have insight into what I'm doing, just like the animals do in Animal Crossing. But I also could keep better track of what I was doing for work. So honestly, applying DevOps just in the last couple months or two to different segments of my life has significantly improved my mental health all around. DevOps is all about sharing, but it also taught me that how to be transparent, how to be unafraid, and to ask for the things that I need. I think it's really tempting, especially when you work at a large company, to kind of be siloed and to have your own things that you're working on, have people not have complete insight into the different projects and tasks and things that you're doing. Of course, this is not to be confused with sharing, Chering. Okay, now I got to do a little pose. There we go. But yeah, I think a big thing that has been very useful for me, especially with someone dealing with ADHD, is letting people know what I'm struggling with, what are my big rocks, what are things that I need help on, and sharing that with the team. I was keeping every single thing in my brain, trying to keep track of it, not really having a single source of truth of my personal life, but also for work and for my relationships and all these different things. Not having to keep it in my brain was a huge, huge, huge game changer. You can't keep every single fact and detail in your head. You're not Blathers. You don't have the brain space for it. I don't know how Blathers does it. I don't know how he knows all this information about beta fish and just keeps it all inside of there. But I was trying to rely on my brain to do all the DevOps that I needed. I was solely relying on my calendar and a prayer and not able to really keep this all in one safe place for myself. So once I applied all these DevOps methods to my life, my brain suddenly had time to stream Animal Crossing more and to finally get around to those crafts that I have just sitting next to my table. I could finally do the things that I wanted and needed to do because I had the brain space for it. We talk a lot at Microsoft about bringing your authentic self to work, to just be your true authentic self, and that's what makes it better. And I say bring your authentic self to work, even if that means that your authentic self has a toilet entrance on your island. I live my truest truth, as I like to say, in Animal Crossing. I think it's the purest version of myself. It's definitely a simulation, but I feel like I can be my authentic self and I feel more organized and I like the person that I am in Animal Crossing. And it's been such an eye-opening experience to just bring that into my real life. I was tired of saying I have everything together in Animal Crossing and not in my real life. And now I'm slowly but surely making that equal. That is my talk. I am so excited that this event exists. This is the first talk that I've given in Animal Crossing ever. But I'm just so excited to learn today and to not only learn, but learn while I'm in Animal Crossing, because truly I am my best self in Animal Crossing, and I hope that y'all are able to bring your best selves to the conference today and learn everything that you can and how you can apply DevOps to everything that you do. It worked for me, and I hope that it works for you. Ta-da!
Yay! Yay! Everyone, give it up for Chloe in the chat. Send her as many emotes and emojis as your heart desires. Chloe, that was amazing. And I know you probably weren't watching it live, but there was a lot of people who definitely agreed that they have ADHD. And when they saw your list, I saw a few people saying, do I have ADHD? And I think, honestly, anytime we can inspire people to ask themselves that question and be that relatable, that's a success. So really great job. Yeah, I loved it. I especially liked your last slide with that screenshot. That's like a dream island.
And I will share I'll share a code later and people can come visit. Those are automatic toilets that open up as you enter. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh my gosh.